Good evening. Welcome to the first of my break-off story series, I suppose. This is one I was listening to earlier today. I was like, this shit's kind of funny, right? Well, it's funny to me. It may not be funny to you, and if it's not, then you can tell me in comments and shit. Be mean about it. Oh, story sucks. Ass. We don't like it. And I have to accept it. But, as the title states, this story comes from a story that came out of a story within a story. Like, literally, I'm not even joking with you. The story had nothing to do with this at all. But somehow it took up like almost a half an hour to 45 minutes of it. So, I'm going to give it its due because we were sitting here, right? Like, I was listening to it today, and my son typed in the name of the community that we started. And the funny thing is, shit that's in the story and where we are now all popped up, like in the first three hits. Which is funny because we weren't expecting it to. It's not like we were trying to make that happen. It's not like we were, like, the story isn't really even about where we are exactly. It's just about where we are at the time. And at the time, we weren't living here. But it's just funny, right? Like, it actually put up where we live, and a person or group of people that I was talking about in the story. So without further yapping, I'm gonna go ahead and begin the first episode of New Community. Community at large. Alright, now I know what you're saying. What the fuck is New Community? A community at large, right? I'm gonna explain it to you. So let me take you back real quick to where it all started from so you guys can catch up to where we are now, right? I don't want you to be like, what the fuck? If this is the first episode, why don't I understand what the fuck this whole thing is about? Shh. Let me get the music, right? Now, this is a live thing. I'm not going to do this. So there's not going to be any episodes that I just, like, write down. I'll try to have an idea of what I want to talk about per episode. But I want you to understand that it's not scripted. I'm not going to script it. I don't have time to sit down and write shit. And if I did, then you know what would happen? It would be trash. Because I'd actually be thinking about trying to make you enjoy it instead of me enjoying myself doing it. Right? As long as I enjoy myself doing it, I hope you guys enjoy it because I really want you to be entertained. You know what I'm saying? So let me get some music for stories going right quick. Let me find one that I think will fit well. This one goes. Oh yeah, that's right. Let's get that started from the beginning, folks. Now, to understand new community at large, you have to understand what was the beginning seed of this new community, right? Moved out here with my sons and our ego. Spawned to, let's call it, right? Spawned these two children, thank God. If I was out here by myself, I'd have gone insane. Anyway, right? So, we're out here. Some shit hits the fucking fan. Not good for society at all, which nothing's ever good for society if it's real. But we have been building this community. Seeds, I say, seeds. Seeds in the form of good messages, goodwill, helping one another as a fellow man. Giving them tomatoes that I grow in my garden and making them blazing ass hot sauce, right? It's the premise of our building of the community, but not the new community. Community at large. Now, Don't know exactly what the fuck it was. Still don't know. Have no fucking clue, right? We're still living our lives as best we can under the circumstances in our new community at large. Now, like I said, I'm gonna take you back, right? Boom. One day we're all chilling doing what we usually do, right? Which is chillax, playing some video games and shit, doing the stuff that we enjoy doing. Now, at some point, within us enjoying ourselves and life being a total clusterfuck, some kind of infection infected people and animals and other living creatures. Now, of course, the results weren't the same with every creature infected, except for they were always covered in blood, and it wasn't their blood. It was never their blood. And they weren't infected at the time of being covered in said blood, at least not visibly infected. They were just bloody as shit, and then somehow, within moments of you noticing this blood not being theirs, then they were this ravenous beast, ready to chew upon you, head and guts, which you didn't want. Because it's not like you turned into one of those things. No, if they ate you, you were dead. You didn't come back. It's not some zombie shit, people. I want you to understand that real fast, quick and in a hurry. It's not undead. Okay, it's not some biological warfare or military shit happened or alien invasion. It's some shit we have no idea about. It's an infection, like I said. Maybe it was from polar ice caps melting, some shit getting into the air that we don't understand. Who knows? All I know, bloody ass people, not their blood, started knocking on people's doors, ringing doorbells, trying to talk to you and ask for help. Remember, somebody came to our house, we weren't having that shit, right? It was like, yo, fuck no, we're not answering the door, bounce, right? Of course, I know what you're thinking, right? If you know it's not their blood, then they could be in help, or maybe someone else needs help. Well, that's not my problem, or my family's problem, right? This is happening all over the fucking place. It's not like it's just localized here. No. Warning was put out, and I paid attention to it. I'm on a little app. Neighbors communicate with one another. I told them, hey, listen, right? Check this the fuck out. Seen a couple of those their bloody people coming around, and I'm just letting you all know I'm not letting them in. Don't you do it either. This is our community, and we need to protect it as such, right? Now, mind you, a few weeks go by. Some of those in the community who didn't understand the reality of the situation let some of these people in and quickly succumbed to the infection and died or were killed. Mostly killed, not died. That's how there were so many abandoned houses and shit left in the area. It's like a checkerboard of maybe somebody lived here and we definitely know somebody doesn't, because you would see the blood all over the fucking place. It wasn't a secret. You walk up to the front door wide open, it's a fucking crisis right now. Who the fuck's leaving their door open? Who's leaving their door unlocked, right? Whose fucking front yard are you stepping up on and not catching bullets? At this point, is what I'm saying, right? So it was easy to tell. So, I got in touch with some of those community members that I knew weren't dumb enough to fall for the dumb shit. And I was kind of happy. I'm not even gonna lie. That some of those ignorant, stupid fucks did get killed because they were ignorant as fuck. What the fuck are they gonna do in the new world without things that they would be used to using to protect themselves and live longer? Now they didn't have them, and we didn't need them around anyway. That's not the point. So at this point, right, I've gotten in touch with a few of the key members of this community. We get together, building, we talk and discuss the new community, right? And we're saying to ourselves, listen, we've got an opportunity here A lot of the assholes that we didn't really care for and didn't really care for the community are gone because they're idiots. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start a new community. This community at large is gonna protect the people within it that contribute to it, right? We came up with a whole system of trade among ourselves, right, at first. And then we realized, what are we trading each other for? We all have pretty much the same shit because we are a community anyway, right? So we decided that we should just start to fence off, wall off areas that we knew we could hold down, right? There was plenty of us. We had children. Children that were 14 years old were now homeowners. As long as they could grow some shit, contribute to the new community at large, everything was good. And it was good, right? You know, new people would come in, we would explain the fucking rules. Real fucking fast, quick and in a hurry. You can stay here, but you can't leave. Why can't we leave? Because why would you want to leave? What you have to do is make your presence one that is productive to the rest of the community, and the community is going to help you. So why would you want to leave that? Well, you know, maybe if you get bored, that's the problem. See, you're not part of the community. We can't lose any members of our community because then you might come back and you'll tell them what we have and stuff. We can't have that. So just that you are asking if you could leave makes me say that you shouldn't even be here in the first place, so you can't come in. What do you say, council? We agree. Nobody who wants to leave should ever be here in the first place. And then they're looking at us like we're assholes, right? Now understand. I know what you probably are thinking, right? Well, that is kind of an asshole move. What if they do want to leave? Why? Let's throw society on top of shit for a hot second, right? You can't just leave your country and just say, oh, I'm not American anymore. It doesn't work that fucking way, right? No, you can't just go someplace else and say, I'm this. That's why people are being deported from this country right now, right? It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that in the new community at large. At large, we decided that we want things done our way. And most of the people in our community, because at large, we agree. Do you understand what that means, at large? That's why we threw that in there. We wanted it to be known to all those who even thought of challenging any of the rules of the new community at large, that they were at large just not going to make anything happen for themselves because they weren't at large. They were at small. Or maybe medium, but not large. Which meant they weren't going to win, right? Exactly. We've been part of this community. We helped build it. We were the main pillars. Now that's not to say that from time to time, we didn't sometimes squabble amongst ourselves, right? You know, that shit did happen in one case, and I'll tell you when, right now, how it happened. Because, listen, when I first moved here, I had come from a place that wasn't anywhere near as peaceful and calm and quiet as this. Like, I swear to God, I've never known the peace, calm, and quiet that I know here ever in my life. That is no cap. Not a baseball cap, not a goddamn Scully cap, no cap at all is upon what I just said. Understand it? I hope you do. So, right? In my head, I'm thinking I don't give a fuck what any of these other assholes think. They've lived in this their entire lives. They're probably tired of it. I, on the other hand, am not. So my vote, because I did most of the goddamn heavy lifting, is gonna be supreme to all. And even if they do say, oh, we don't agree, I'm gonna do what the fuck I wanna do anyway. Because it's my new community, my community at large, right? Most of the people side with me anyway. So bam, a problem pops up, right? Problem pops up. Now mind you, we have all types of defenses that we've installed upon this territory that we now control, which is pretty much most of Central Hermitage, right? Taking over abandoned lots, abandoned plazas. We revitalize them. those which we can't use for any purpose, we've torn down and repurposed the materials from those structures to build new structures in the core of our new community at large. We even managed to take over the power station. That's right, we have electricity here in our community. And we work at that goddamn plant every day. Some of us. We rotate. And we don't get paid money for it. You know what we get paid? We go home to lights, hot water, and a fucking stove that we can cook our communal meals on. See, a lot of people didn't like that at first. And then they understood why we were going to do it. You know why? Because I fucking said so. All of the council members agreed that we would eat together. Only those tasked with watching the perimeter would be allowed to eat at a separate time. But everyone else would eat in the communal hall together. One smoking fire. That way you don't have a whole bunch of assholes out there on the horizon looking at this settlement with like 20 fires going like, holy shit, there's a whole lot of shit there. Let's go steal it. Then on top of it, we're all in the same place, armed, obviously. Well, we're a much harder force to deal with. And of course, where we eat and do all of our important business, it's gonna be fucking armored, fortified. It's not gonna be some little wood shack. We're just sitting down outside a goddamn picnic table in the middle of a goddamn fucking apocalypse like it's a fucking happy day. Ha ha ha, let's have a fucking barbecue. No. And there were some people that didn't agree with that, right? They wanted to leave. We couldn't let that happen. I know what you're saying, so what did you do? We killed them. What the fuck do you think we did? I know what you're saying. That is fucking harsh. So is post-apocalyptic lands. You think shit's gonna be fucking sweet? No. Not at all. I'm not saying you have to be a tyrant, but you gotta put your fucking foot down real fast. Pow! So that's what happened. When this little community that's small, that's not what they were called, but that's what we called them. Because they came up to us trying to like initiate some kind of like war on a premise like we were a government with politicians and shit. We had a council who was just basically the four guys that started doing shit argued with each other about what the fuck shit we were gonna do next, right? And then usually one of them would just do some shit and we would all follow suit because, well, shit, we was rolling with each other before. Don't have to agree with the motherfucker. Goddamn, he's gonna do it, so we might as well just do it with him anyway, whether we like it or not. And that's how our community works, right? So, bam, these guys talking their shit, they want something we have, and we're not giving it to them without them giving us something we want, and they don't have what we want, so we don't want anything from them. Therefore, we're not giving them shit. I know what you're saying, right? Oh, that's fucked up. Human beings, well, they're making demands. Been different if they had said, hey, could you teach us how to do what you're doing? Then we would have done that, but we're not going to do that now. They made threats. Now, over the course of the next, let's say 6 or 7 weeks or so, we had extra patrols out. Now, we had an electric fence. Yes, an electric fence, but an invisible electric fence. A visible one, obviously, but an invisible one, like the one used for dogs. I know what you're saying. That's not going to work on people. Of course not. Not if you don't have the probes in them. So what we would do is we would make our own special probes. Well, how do you make your own special probe? Out of a hollow 22 shell, right? In this would be a nice little Wi-Fi controlled probe. Wireless. It doesn't necessarily have to be Wi-Fi, but it's wireless nonetheless. RF, if you really want to take it back to analog days. It was controlled with a remote. We darted the fuck out of these assholes every single time they would test our fucking defenses. And I mean a lot of them. Some of them had 2 or 3 of them in them. I'm not even joking with you. Now the fucking most hilarious thing was watching these jackasses try to get in our shit after they were darted, because I know you've seen what happens to a fucking dog when it runs into an invisible fence. Same thing happens to people. Now you're probably saying, well, why didn't they just pick these things off their skin, because I just told you it's in a modified 22 caliber shell, hollowed out to carry the dart into the meat. So these weren't just like stuck in their skin. No, they were embedded in the meat. And getting them out, not that they couldn't, would have been like, oh God, tearing holes in their meat. It's not really doing anything because it's small enough that it's not going to really hurt them until it needs to. And it needs to hurt them when they try to jump through the electric fence, which it does. And we would have bets sometimes sitting at the watchtowers, like, I wonder how many of them are going to get stuck to the fence today, right? One day we counted like 12, which was like the highest we'd ever counted ever. And this wasn't at one point, it's just along the invisible fence wall, right? Then we noticed something right? They were all gathering on one area of the wall. Apparently they had learned that enough of them get shot there that maybe it would break the current in the fence. They had no idea. I had jerry-rigged a nice little system where this thing was directly fed by the power station itself. It was not a battery. It was not a backup. It was getting full juice all day, every day. Juice. Super juice. So much juice that I heard, I'm not sure if this is actually true, that one jackass that got darted like 18 times actually tried to run through the fence one day, and I mean, he got a hauling ass running start. And when he jumped into the fence, the invisible one, right, thinking that his momentum was gonna actually like hurl him through this electrified barrier, no, it didn't do that at all. It actually stopped him in its tracks, his tracks, held him there in the current for long enough to cook him from the inside out. Well, inside of where all those probes were. And they exploded inside of him. And it wasn't like a huge explosion, like he turned into big chunks of meat. Nothing like that. They like popped, like little popcorn kernels inside of his meat. Either way, he died. A terrible, painful death. And I also heard, and I don't know if this is true either, that they ate him because he was cooked and they could smell the deliciousness of his meat. Now I know what you're saying. You forced those people into cannibalism. No, I did not. I didn't force them to do anything. They forced themselves into that fence and got fucked up, right? They got fucked up. Now anyway, back to what I was saying. Constant juice, there's like 30 or 40 of them on this wall. Now, I had never seen them in numbers this large, and I didn't calculate these kinds of equations happening to the grid, especially with us running power as we normally do, right? What ended up happening is that they realized that they could overload our generating system. Immediately I realized this, and I told the council that we needed to have a meeting right now, a meeting. Listen, these fuckfaces are gonna end up breaking through, right? When they break through, they're gonna do all types of really fucked up shit to us because, in a way, we've kind of done some fucked up shit to them. I mean, they started it, but we could have just killed them instead of darting the fuck out of them and watching them run into our invisible fence. And then actually putting invisible fences near their shit so that they would run into it near their place and then think maybe it was like ghosts or something. That was mean, and I'm not going to apologize for it because I'm just not going to apologize for it. Why should I? The world is a fucking crazy ass, chaotic place now. And the order must be made. And the order will be made when I go down to that fence that they're going to overload. And I'm going to hit them with a flamethrower, right? And they're going to understand that they don't do this. Well, we don't agree. Well, you don't have to, okay? Because, like I just told you, I'm going to go do that. And you're not going to stop me. You know that if you do, then there's one less of us and more of them. So, I'll talk to you guys later. You don't have to take part. But we might have some extra meat later if I don't burn it all to a crisp. And I left, right? Got my flamethrower and a couple of flashbangs and a couple of Molotov cocktails. Now, I didn't want to torch almost 100 people. I really didn't. But I'm thinking about the hundreds of people that I'm responsible for in the new communities at large. Like, how would they feel if I felt some kind of way about our survival to a point that I didn't protect us from this marauding group of people who was actually throwing themselves against an electric fence, knowing that they're gonna hurt themselves in the process just to get in? Like, what do you think they're fucking gonna do when they get in? Are they gonna fucking shake hands with us? Be like, okay, we got in now, we're just gonna go home? No. They're gonna exact revenge. Punishment will be placed upon our people. And that's just not something that I'm gonna let allow. Well, I didn't allow to happen. You know, this is all past tense stuff that I'm telling you right now. This happened. So you're like, you shouldn't. Well, I already did. So I went down there with my flamethrower, my flashbangs, and my Molotovs. Now, I threw the first flashbang at them to kind of like blast them away from the fucking wall, you know, the electric fence. A few of them blew off of it. 2 of them ran off like, fuck this shit. I'm not with this. But the rest of them came back to the shit. Jumped right back on the fucking dog pile. I threw another one at them. One of them got smacked dead in the face with it. I think he died. I'm not even sure. I just know he flew backwards and he didn't get up. And I didn't notice if he got up when the whole shit really went haywire. So I'm gonna assume he died or got knocked into like last week sometime. And he's still waiting to wake up now. Maybe he's in a coma. Maybe they just left him. Or maybe he got burnt up. And what happened next, right? So I told him, I said, listen, people. Alright, we told you no, and there's really no reason for you to be doing this. This is only gonna end one way. Now, one of them was like in the back talking shit. He wasn't jumping off the pile. I guess he must have been the leader. So I started talking to him. It's like, listen, dude, like, you're about to get all these people fucking killed, and yourself as well. Just, I'll turn the fence off momentarily for you to get the fuck off of it. Right? Like we do every now and then for a few of you. And I'll let you guys go home. Right? We won't kill you today. We will definitely be coming tomorrow to murder you all. So you have choices. Prepare your defense or move on. But after this display of complete and total disrespect for the new community at large, I can only say that it either ends today or it ends tomorrow. Now, if it ends today, it's going to be very bad for you and your people. Well, there won't be anybody else here to talk about what happens, but they'll know what happened because we'll leave your carcasses here, and they'll find them smoldering in a heap. They might drag the ones that are in the middle of the heap out because they'll be more uncrispified, and they'll probably eat those like they ate the last guy. But for the most part, you're all cooked, literally. I threw a fucking Molotov at him, right? I missed him, and it blew up in the back behind them, which kind of worked in my advantage, right? Kind of worked in my advantage, and I'll tell you why in like 2 seconds. Boom. The fence fails. I can see this because they're not stuck in these contorted positions all stiff. They're like loose and limber now. So I throw the second Molotov right at the front of the group. Blows up. I hear them start screaming. And they're not screaming like they're being electrocuted. They're screaming like they're burning. Because they are burning. Because I just threw a fucking Molotov cocktail at them. And immediately after that, I let loose a nice powerful burst of napalm upon the front row. Melting half of them in about 2 or 3 seconds. You could see the flesh dripping from their faces and arms as they threw them up to try to protect themselves, as if that was going to work. I guess that's just human panic going for it. Now, the second group, or the second wall, or wave or whatever part of the pile. They tried to scurry forward and then realized that I wasn't gonna stop flamethrowing them like I was a goddamn fucking fry cook at Burger King. So they tried to run backwards, knocked the dude that was telling them what to do into the fucking Molotov that I had already threw behind him. He catches on fire. They start catching on fire. I'm fucking just flame throwing the fuck out of anything moving at this point because I'm the only one that went down. Now they're screaming, they're yelling, they're burning, they're dying because there's just flames everywhere. And I'm not stopping until I know the fence is back on. And it takes them a while to get the fence back on, like 10 minutes. So for 10 minutes, I'm chasing down these people who can hardly run because these crows have been just pounding their meat with voltage and amps for like straight 20 minutes. And now they're on fire, out of breath, hurt, burning alive, melting from the napalm, screaming in agony. And I don't have a gun with me, so I can't like just shoot them in the head and put them out of their misery. So I figure, right, if I hit them with more flame, you know, they'll die faster. And that isn't exactly what happened. They burned faster, yes. So it increased the amount of burning happening at that time, but it just increased the amount of pain. And yeah, it shortened duration of it a little bit, but not by much for it to be a definite way to kill somebody quickly. Kill somebody, yes. Brutally and savagely, oh yes. But quickly, no. Except for when I did take the tip of the flamethrower and I shoved it in this asshole's mouth that kept talking shit. You know, he had broke his leg and he was just sitting there, oh, we're gonna keep coming. We're gonna keep coming. I shoved it right in his mouth and his head popped like a popcorn kernel. His brain didn't get all fluffy like popcorn would. It just mushed out in many different directions. Some of it on me. I wasn't too happy about it. The wall, or invisible fence, finally comes back on. I see this one survivor left, right? This little boy, probably like 12 or 13 years old. Burnt on his leg a little bit. Not bad. You know, I got a son, he's a little older than him. So I'm looking at this kid, I'm like, then he tells me, you killed my dad. I fucking smashed his head with a rock immediately. I know what you're thinking, oh, you son of a bitch, that's terrible. No, it's not. If I went out and died, I'm sure my son would be out for blood. Both of them would be. They would hunt these people down until there was none left. And that's what I figured he would do to us. I mean, would he not? He's screaming, oh, you killed my dad, so I smashed his head in with a rock. I think the first hit killed him, so it's not like he suffered a whole lot. So don't be mad. And besides, he was one of these jackasses throwing himself to fucking invisible fence. So in retrospect, he got what the fuck he came there for, which was what he came there for. I don't know what they came there for. They never said what it was. They wanted stuff that we had. They got stuff that we had. So I guess their mission was successful. I went back. The guy saw the look on my face and a couple of ears hanging from my garments. Not that I put them there, they just kind of got there from some of the explosions from the flashbangs and shit. Maybe just from melting off of them and me brushing up against them. And they knew what I did, and I told them what I did. I let them know in detail. Gory fucking detail. Told them about the kid, the guy's head that popped like popcorn and shit. Even threw a piece of brain on Chad, just so he could be mad about it. He's like, hey, what the fuck, man? Don't do that. I was like, yeah, next time, come out there, and then you can get your own brains, and I won't have to bring you back some. Everybody looked at me a whole new way now. Like, damn, this guy is fucking crazy. And they knew this. They knew this. That's why they liked me, you know, because I was the crazy guy. Oh, I never know what he's gonna do. But now they know exactly what I'm gonna do, and they're not always happy with it. But it's what it is. I'm the guy that makes those fucking really gross, nasty, terrible decisions that have to be made for the protection of new community. New community at large. Well, it's not new community at large. It's new community at large. Because at large we stand in this new community. The community at large, right? So if that doesn't answer your question why it's called that, well, now it should. And I'll tell you what happened after we fricasseed that group that tried to invade our wonderful, peaceful oasis that we have created for ourselves in this paradise on hell. Right? But you'll have to wait until the next time I have time to live stream this shit. So thank you. You joined me. If you didn't, well, thank you if you view it later. And if you don't view it later and you didn't join me, say, well, fuck you, okay? You're not part of the new community at large. And if you ever come to my invisible fence, I'll make sure to throw M80s at you first, right? Just to scare you a little bit, to make you think they're guns or bullets or maybe even dynamite. And then, when you start running and you turn your back, I'll shoot you right in the back of the neck with one of those nice little invisible fence darts, right? But this one will have like a little counter in it where I can just press the button and zap the fuck out of you even if you don't come through the fence, bitch. Alright? So remember that. Like and subscribe. Fucking share.